And we're back, guys. I'm your host, Good Energy. Tennis After Dark. Wimbledon is here, guys. We are going to take a look at Coco Gauff's path to her third slam title. That's right, guys. If Coco were to win SW19, this is how I think it goes down. Let's get right into it, guys. The first round matchup from the hard-hitting Ukraine. Diana Yastremka, listen, guys, she's ranked 42nd on the world tour, a lot of power. She knows what it's like to have success here. We saw her make the junior slam final where she lost in 3 sets to, at the time, one of her good friends, Potapova, gone wild. Coco Gauff, number 2, guys, listen, we saw her burst on the scene at 15 years old. That's right, guys. That was 2019. Remember that? Venus Williams, the stage was set. I did a video on that. Go watch it. Unbelievable. Watching Venus and Coco walk out. Coco was so short then. Venus was so tall. She looked like a giant. Coco's dad next to her. That was just electric. That was exciting. And of course, Coco won that match, guys. Now, Diana's 23-14 on the year, 6-2 on grass. She's having a pretty darn good grass year. We saw her take out Francesca Jones in the round of 16 before losing to Alexandra Ayala. She also beat Magda Linette a couple times. Very good shot maker. She beat Leylah Fernandez, Ruzic, Olga Danlovic. Listen, guys, this is going to be a tough matchup. Coco has not played, right? I mean, Diana's played a lot of grass tennis. 8 matches is a lot, you know. Coco's only played the 1 match to Wong that she lost. She was up. She started good. But, I mean, I don't blame her. They decided to, head to Wimbledon, get used to the courts, practice, get some hitting partners. 31-9 on the year. She pulled it together, guys. She got the second Grand Slam. This is going to be a tough match. How does she beat Diana? I think she beats Diana by simply going to the short ball. Get Diana inside the line. She's going to make mistakes. Play fast, speed her up. That's the way to do it. She gets past Diana in what's going to be a tough match. Next up, she's going to take on Vika, slam champion. I think she gets past Zakirova, and this is going to be a good match. This is going to start the beginning of the slam champion run that Coco's going to have to go through to win Wimbledon. This is going to be tough. There's a lot of good shot makers in Coco's draw. Vika's very, very good, very talented. Now, I did a video stating that I don't know if Vika's in her best form. I mean, I think it's obvious, right? You know, slam champion, as great as she is. Vika's got nearly 700 wins on her career. Right, she's got a ton of titles on the main tour. I mean, I want to say she's got 15 titles on the main tour, maybe even more, 20, I think, right? 20. A couple Grand Slam titles sprinkled in there. Here's the thing about this matchup. Is Vika in her form? Is she herself? I don't know if she is, to be honest with you guys. I don't know. I mean, Vika's very experienced. We all know she's been doing this for a very long time. She's got a ton of master championships. You know, she won the Australian Open in 2012. We saw her win the Australian Open in 2013. She won it back to back. Couple U.S. Open finals sprinkled in there. I do think Coco gets past a very tough Vika. It's not going to be easy. But overall, I mean, Vika, look, she's 9-10 on the year. She just hasn't played a lot of tennis. But look, she does have 4 wins on grass sprinkled in there, right? Or should I say 4 matches on grass? She won 3 of them. She beat Laura Sigmund, which is a match she should have. The win over Veronica was very, very good. That was a solid win. And the win over Kat McNally, a good shot maker, was good. I don't think this is going to be an easy match. How does she beat Vika? It's very simple. Much like Diana, make Vika use her feet. She won't be able to keep up. She's going to get tired. Coco wins by going to the short ball. Again, defending, extending the rallies, but serving well. Coco Gauff gets past Victoria Azarenka. That's going to set up big game Sofia Kenin, the showdown, the rematch, guys. That's right. She took out Coco here a couple years ago. I think Kenin gets here by taking out Taylor Townsend and Seidel, who are both playing good tennis. I think Kenin overall is going to be a little too much for both of them. That sets up a third round blockbuster. Yes, the U.S. Open Slam champion versus the Australian Open Slam champion. And of course, Coco has 2 slams now, the French Open. Another good shot maker back to back, much like Vika. Sofia Kenin, she doesn't really beat herself, right? You're going to have to overpower her, hit winners down the line. You're going to have to make her work. We're seeing a theme here of opponents that Coco's going to face where she's going to have to use her legs. She's going to have to defend. And I think Caroline Wozniacki said it best. When you're playing Coco, she's just using her feet. She's getting balls back. She's creating opportunities. She's keeping you on the back foot. She's just pressuring you so much to where if you're not perfect, you're going to lose the point. I think that's what she has to do against Sofia Kenin. Continue to pressure her, mix in the short balls, bring her forward, get her disrupted from developing rhythm and timing and momentum. And again, Coco has to serve well. The faster surface, Coco goes to the short ball. She mixes in her backhand. Just keep Sofia Kenin second guessing, and she gets past big game Sofia Kenin on to the 4th round, where Ludmila, she takes out Maya Joint, Francesca Jones, and Dasha. I don't think Coco has an issue here in this matchup against Ludmila. She's dominated Ludmila. I don't think it's an issue. I'm more concerned about Sofia Kenin because Sofia Kenin, she's bounced back from last year, 23 wins this year. She's only played a couple matches on grass, but overall, I think Sofia Kenin's a better shot maker than Ludmila. The only problem I could see Ludmila presenting for Coco, yes, she's played a lot of tennis. She's played 5 matches on grass this year. She's beat Amanda Anisimova. She beat Pegula, Osaka, all good players. Of course, Osaka slam champion. Ludmila's not, but Ludmila's got a short ball. She has power on the forehand. This is a tricky matchup where although Coco's dominated Ludmila, I could see the forehand on grass and the drop shot disrupting Coco occasionally. How does Coco offset that? Simple, with the backhand. She keeps Ludmila deep with the backhand. I don't think she can comfortably set up that drop shot. Not going to be an issue. Coco gets past Ludmila by way of brutal backhand. That's going to set up the showdown we've all been waiting for, ladies and gentlemen. I've been waiting a long time, since San Diego, WTA 500, 4 years ago now? It's been a long time since these two have played. They've only played once. This is going to be the showdown, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. We are going to have a clash in the quarterfinal. The giant from Kazakhstan. She gets here by taking out Elena Evanesian, the Greek goddess, Anna Kalinskaya, and Iga. Big bad Iga. I think Elena Rybakina takes out Iga's Swiatek, ladies and gentlemen, in the round of 16. This sets up quarterfinal clash between Elena Rybakina and Coco. Another slam champion. In case you're not counting, guys, that's Vika in the 2nd round. That's Kenin in the 3rd round. And in the 5th round, Elena Rybakina. That's 3 slam champions Coco has to go through. At this point in the draw, Coco's going to be in form. She's going to have found her rhythm. If this were a 1st or 2nd round matchup, I'll be honest with you, it would scare me. It would really scare me. Because Elena Rybakina, look, she's been active as of late, right? She's 3-2 on grass. She has 5 matches under her belt. We saw wins over Katerina Siniakova, Ashton Kruger. Now, she did lose to Sabalenka in the quarterfinal of Berlin, but a tough match. She lost to Tatiana Maria. A lot of people picking her to go deep. No, guys, I got Katie Volley-Nets defeating Tatiana Maria. In fact, in the 1st round, she's out of there, guys. But the win over Heather Watson, this is a matchup here. I think it's going to be challenging for Coco because you're dealing with one of the best servers on tour. Coco could start a lot of these defensive rallies on the back foot. However, guys, I say it time and time again, when Coco finally plays Rybakina again, she's going to run circles around her. Once the ball's in play, I don't think Elena Rybakina is going to stand a chance. She's going to be too slow. She's just going to be moving front, back, side to side like a new TikTok dance move or something. I think Coco's going to the short balls. She's going to hit passing shots at will, overhead volleys. She's going to be too explosive for Elena Rybakina. I think Coco gets past the giant from Kazakhstan, and this matchup scares me more than anyone. Semifinal clash with big game Jessie P, ladies and gentlemen. Pegula gets here by taking out Elizabeth, Katie Volley-Nets, Alicia Parks in the third round. Mokova. And listen, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be a clash, a showdown, blockbuster showdown. I do think Pegula gets past Mira Andreeva to set up this semifinal clash. And for Coco fans, I think you'd probably want Mira to win that matchup against Pegula, because this is where I think if Coco's going to be upset, it's going to happen in the semifinal. Jessica Pegula has found her form. She looks good. She just beat Iga. She's comfortable. Listen, guys, 35-12 on the year. She made the final in the Adelaide where she lost to Madison Keys. She made the quarterfinal in Doha. She made the final in Austin, Texas, where she beat Kessler. She even made the round of 16 at the Indian Wells, but she made the final in Miami where she lost to Sabalenka. She made the final in Charleston where she beat Kenin. The quarterfinal at the Porsche Grand Prix. She made the round of 16 at the French Open before losing to Lois Bossion. And she just won Bad Humber, taking out Iga, Noskova, Emma Navarro, Katerina Senyakova. She's playing solid tennis, guys. 4-1 on grass. This is a matchup here where, again, Coco's going to have to serve well, right? We've seen Coco win 2 slam titles without serving well. I don't think she can win a third here at Wimbledon without serving well, right? To win a slam in Wimbledon, you have to serve well. You can't give your opponent the opportunity to tee off on second serves because you're going to be on the back foot. Serving well, reducing her double faults, but defending. I say it all the time. Pegula, Iga Swiatek, and I told you in the pre-match video, if she's going to beat Pegula, she has to go to the short ball. She's got to bring Pegula forward. Iga Swiatek in that first set only had 2 shots at the net. She only went to the short ball twice. Coco can't do that if she's going to beat Pegula. She's got to go to the short ball early and often. Get Pegula on the move. That's going to open the court. We got passing shots. We got Pegula just in the open court, the slower player. You know, she doesn't have the footwork Coco has. That changes wherever Coco wants to go. It's an X factor that you can't plan for. And I think Coco, again, she's got to use her athletic ability. She's got to defend. I don't think it's going to be an issue defending Pegula's shots. I just think she has to limit her mistakes because Pegula's the type of player like Marie Bouzkova at the French Open. She's not necessarily going to beat you aggressively. Pegula said it herself. She only plays at about 70%, 75% of her power, right? So that's not something Coco has to worry about. Much like that match against Paula Badosa we saw at the Australian Open, where Coco beat herself, right? All she had to do, continue to get balls back, be a little bit more patient. And I think if she does that with Pegula, she can beat Pegula here. I do think this will be a challenging match. And again, if I think Coco's going to be eliminated, I could see it happening here. Coco is the third overall favorite, if you will. She has the third best chance to win this tournament. I do think this would be a very tricky match here. And in fact, I don't think Pegula should be plus 2,000. I think she should be probably in the 800-900 range. I think you could even possibly bump Iga out for Pegula. I think it only makes sense since Pegula just beat Iga. This is going to be a tough matchup. Coco's going to have to play a perfect game because Pegula's not going to do too much. Pegula's going to make you beat yourself. She's not going to play aggressively. It's not going to have a lot of winners down the line. I think she's going to rely on Coco to not be as disciplined or patient in the rallies, to make mistakes, a lot of unforced errors, sprinkling some double faults here and there. Pegula gets a break, and then it's just solid, disciplined tennis where she's holding, and before you know it, she wins the match. However, guys, Coco gets past Pegula by bringing her forward inside the lines, passing shots, going to the short ball, defending with the backhand, and playing solid, patient tennis. And that's going to set up the final showdown. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. I've have Kenin Jung getting past Sabalenka. Look, it's interchangeable. We know that at this point. Yes, that entire draw, guys. Madison Keys, Sabalenka. I have Qinwen coming out of this draw. Now, Qinwen is an amazing type of player. She said it recently when she faced Coco in Saudi Arabia that the last couple losses to Coco, she didn't have the stamina. Coco's a workhorse, right? She said she got tired, and when she got tired, she couldn't serve as effectively. So Qinwen's been working on her stamina. I talked about that, and she's been working on her power. I think Rybakina is doing a good job with those two categories, and this is why Qinwen has been a lot more consistent overall. Now, Qinwen, guys, she's got an amazing serve. She's worked on the forehand, and this is going to be the type of matchup here where Coco, again, she's going to have to play solid, right? Let's go back to the clay semifinal, right? Nearly 4 hours on the court. I think Coco won that matchup because of her stamina. We're going to have a similar issue here. Possibly, I would say, if this goes deep 2 or 3 long, tight sets. However, guys, a short, quick match, I think is going to favor Coco. You know, on grass matches are a lot shorter, faster surface. There's shorter rallies. So, therefore, the matches end a lot quicker. Qinwen 19-10 on the season, 2-1 on grass. She's only played 3 matches on grass. That's Kessler. She won in 3. She beat Rybakina in straight sets before losing to Amanda Anisimova. However, guys, there's not many players on tour that have a mental focus and discipline like Qinwen. Qinwen wants to take your head off. She's not there to be your friend. She's not there to be your buddy. And I think that's going to get her a long way on tour. Remember, Qinwen's only 22, right? She's going on 23. So it's essentially she's 2 years older than Coco. But I think this is when we're comparing like her mental ability to a lot of the players 22, 23, 24, even 21. Qinwen's a lot further than them mentally. I think Coco's probably the exception because Coco's been on tour since she was 15 in these big matches. Qinwen had to go through her growing pains, but I think she's reached the other side. She's maturing into a great, strong tennis player as well as a woman. I think this is the matchup that Coco wins. This is probably going to be one of her easier matches of the stretch, having came through Pegula and Elena Rybakina, Sofia Kenin, Victoria Azarenka. I think this would be a sigh of relief knowing that she can beat Qinwen with the backhand. Qinwen favors her forehand. I think Coco's backhand is superior. That's going to create very difficult opportunities for Qinwen to return. I think she's got being slightly shorter. They're kind of about the same height, but I think she's got the much superior footwork edge, the stamina edge. Qinwen said it herself, stamina was the big issue playing Coco. You can't fix that in a year. Although she did better their last matchup, I still think Coco has the edge there. And I think Coco overall has the strength on the serve. Qinwen does have a good serve. She can stretch the court with her forehand. But I think Coco's serve backs up Qinwen and puts her into a lot of uncomfortable positions. Remember, guys, Coco's dominated this head-to-head. And it's just not going to stop here. This is how Coco Gauff will win her third Grand Slam. I think she goes through again. Diana Yastremka, Vika in the second round, Kenin in the third, Ludmila in the fourth, Rybakina in the fifth, Pegula in the semifinal, and Qinwen in the championship match. However, guys, I will say Coco's always my pick to go deep, but I think this is going to be a very tough draw for her, having not played and just only playing that one match against Wong, just having not played this grass season. I think this is going to be a very tough slam for Coco. I could see, again, Pegula disrupting her. I could see Elena causing a scare. I don't think Elena beats her because I just think that's a bad matchup for Elena. I think Coco's too fast. I think Elena's going to have issues. But I could see Elena causing a scare. I could see Vika and Kenin causing a scare as well. So this would be the path for Coco to win the title, but I think this is going to be a tough Wimbledon for Coco. I really do. She only played the one match, and it just doesn't happen that way. You need time on the court, but nonetheless, she won the French Open. I do think that she should have took Berlin off. And I think she should have played Eastbourne because that would have put her against the elite competition right before Wimbledon. And a lot of times when you're playing that tournament before Wimbledon, that's the one that you can benefit the most, to be honest with you. I think that stretch in Berlin, I don't know, especially after winning the French Open, I would not have signed Coco up for Berlin. I would have just taking the rest, practice, and then play Berlin versus going to Berlin after all that press and that media. You lose in Berlin. Now you sit out Eastbourne and then you go. And I didn't really like that. I would have sat out Berlin. But again, it's going to be a tough tournament for Coco. I'm not, and I'll be transparent with you, I'm not 100% convinced that Coco's going to win Wimbledon this year. I think it's going to be a challenge. I really, really do. But this would be the path if she does it, guys. And I do think Queen will go deep. I think somewhere, I mean, Sabalenka's always tough, but I think Sabalenka does get tripped up somewhere along the lines. And it could be an upset. It could be one of those early round upsets, but I think Queen's going to find a way to come through. Queen's knocking on the door. She's got to keep discipline, stay focused, but I think Queen's going to eventually get a slam. If she meets Coco in the final, again, if Coco gets to the final, I think she'll win it. I think she'll be fine because once she gets that deep in the draw, she's found her form, and that's not an issue. My issue is early on. Can she catch her form? She's got to make it to the second week. She makes it to the second week, she's got a chance. But again, she's going to meet Pegula in that semifinal, I think, and that's going to be a scary matchup. Let's take a quick look, guys, at the men's matchup that I like. Taylor Fritz versus Pericard Giovanni. That's going to be a freaking blockbuster. Are you serious? The first time they played on the main tour? That serve of Giovanni, oh my goodness, the serve of Fritz, there might be like 5 tie breaks in that match. Unbelievable, guys. Taylor Fritz is hot. He's one of my picks to go deep, but he's got to get out of that first round against Giovanni. That's going to be amazing, guys. But on the men's side, just really quick, I think Carlos will win it. If not, I'm going with Fritz, guys, but he's got to get out of that first round. He gets out of the first round, I think he'll be fine because there's not many players explosive on the serve like Giovanni. There's just not. His +1 is crazy. But that's it, guys. Thanks for listening to the video. Show some love. Hit the super thanks. Like the video. Can Coco win it all? Comment below.